These are the best four companies for low mileage drivers. The number four spot is going to go to Travelers Insurance. They are very competitive with good insurance scores, and especially if you have a multi-product deal. Now, not every state does this, but in most cases, if you add renters or add homeowners insurance and you want multiple products, then they're going to give you a way bigger deal. They also have something called IntelliDrive, which does do a pretty big discount for watching your driving habits. That's one of the ways they're going to determine the mileage that you have. Now, the reason they're not in the third, second, or even first slot is because they don't have a pay per mile program. You're going to see some of these other companies allow you to actually have a per mile option, which we'll go into a little bit further. Some of the other positives is they work with independent agents. So if you're checking this option, the other three honestly are part of an independent agency where most agents can check all four of them at once to find out who's going to give you the best deal anyways. So if you are a low mileage driver, I'll put a link in the description below where you can work with one of those agents to find out which company is going to give you the best deal for the miles that you drive. Just put in the notes when you fill it out that you are a low mileage driver, and then try to put the average miles that you think that you'll drive for the year in there. Now, the cons to Travelers is there are a little bit more complaints with them than there are most companies. Travelers is, oddly enough, one of the larger companies in the insurance industry. So they are going to have a little bit more negative feedback because a lot of people sell them as a cheap option. And that's kind of the opposite of what they want to do. So if you're looking for the bare bones price and they're selling you Travelers, odds are they're going to give you this high service level, all of those pieces. But if they're cheap, then that means they took off coverage. Be very careful that you're not giving up coverage for saving a few dollars. Could cost you tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. On average, they do save about $700 per year. You could save up to that or sometimes more if you go with a Travelers policy. The third, and honestly, I'd probably put them in my number one slot, but the third is Nationwide. The reason Nationwide is so popular is they have Smart Ride and Smart Miles. You're looking for the Smart Miles option because you're going to pay a lower base policy and then you're going to pay per mile above that. It's essentially like leasing a car. You pay so much now and then you pay per mile that you go over. Your only negative that I say is that your price is going to fluctuate. So every month your policy is going to be a different premium, but you can track it through their app to where you're able to see how much you're averaging and if it's worth staying on the pay per mile program, the Smart Miles, or going over to a Smart Ride where you get a better discount for being a good driver, which is included in both. But in general, the Smart Ride doesn't force you to do the mileage based premium. The benefit to Nationwide is, again, you're going to save several $100s by going with them. They're one of the top carriers. They are very picky with the types of policies they're looking for, especially today. They've recently had really good rates over the last several years, but they're looking for 2 cars, home with it, renters with it. They're kind of looking that combo type customer right now. And yes, they are still offering good deals. It's worth checking to see if that option, if you're not combining those, whether a Travelers or a Nationwide would be the better fit. The things that I like about them is they do offer a la carte options. So if you're one that wants OEM equipment, original equipment for your car, especially if you have a foreign car, or if you want to have accident forgiveness, larger towing, road service, all of those pieces are options that are available that you can check with that as well. Talk to your agent if you're curious about those to see what options they can offer. The second slot goes to Allstate, and Allstate has been a little bit in the downfall lately, so they might be fighting for that second and third slot, but they have DriveWise. And DriveWise is an app just like all of these. You're noticing there's apps that track everything. If they verify that, again, they're going to check your speed, your driving, your habits, all of those pieces that go into the DriveWise program, but you can add the per mileage. So they're going to realize the mileage is low, offer a really good discount. They're also a name brand, so you're going to get one of those companies. Lately, they've started working with independent agents over the last several years. So most of your agents are going to be able to quote them against a Nationwide or against a Travelers option. So you can look at those as well. The downfall to going with an Allstate is they are a little bit worse rated for claims. So if you do have a lot of claims, they're a little bit tighter on the type of claims that come through, and they deny more than the average company. At least the satisfaction's a little bit lower. The other part is the DriveWise Miles isn't always available in every state. So you'll have to check with the agent to see if it's even available, or again, if it's worth going to a different option, which leads us into the number 1 slot. And this is a recent change, is Progressive Insurance has started to offer the mileage that you drive as an option for the price. The beauty of it is they're not necessarily tracking it as heavy as everybody else. They're going to ask you the average miles you drive, and then you're going to do their snapshot. Their snapshot is going to watch your driving habits, just like all the other apps, just like everything else. They're going to check the miles, but they do offer a very large discount. So if you are a really good driver and you drive low mileage, you're going to notice that their base price is already less expensive than most carriers. They're also really good if you're just doing what we call a monoline policy, so you're not looking to add a renter's or a homeowner's insurance. Because of the way that they're set up, they do offer that as an option, but more often than not, it really doesn't take away or add to the value or the price change. It's because most independent agents are kind of paused, in all honesty, where they don't necessarily want the home insurance right now. They do have it as an option, and there's a few select agents that can quote those, but at the end of the day, they're one of the tougher companies for home insurance. I've got a video on this channel that goes a little bit further if you are interested in learning about the home insurance and some of the complaints or some of the issues people have had. On the auto side, complete opposite. They are one of the largest insurers for auto, especially with the independent agents. If you want to learn more about the home piece that we talked about with Progressive, I'll put that video here. The more important piece is understand that the coverages make a huge difference. We don't want the wrong coverages to make sure that we're saving a couple dollars. So my Car Insurance 101 will go further in depth. I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I'll see you in the next one.